Hey y'all, welcome back to another lunch at Uncle Jason's. Today we got something a little different. Since it's close to Halloween, we're going to make something called a soul cake. Soul cakes were a thing way back in the day that they made and left as offerings for the departed souls. That's why they called them soul cakes. Well, later on, the Christian church took this in and this tradition in, and they would make the soul cakes, and people who were less fortunate, poor people, would come to houses and knock on the door, and the people inside would give them a soul cake for exchange of prayers. The poor people would pray for the people inside and for the people's departed that had gone on. So that's what a soul cake is, and we're going to get into making some of those today. So let me get my recipe ready here so I can know exactly what I'm doing. I've never done this before. Okay, in my pot, in my bowl right here, I have 3/4 of a cup plus 1 tablespoon of butter, and that equals out to about 12 tablespoons of butter, which is a stick and a half. Stick and a half of butter. Okay, to that I'm going to add a cup of sugar. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cream this together. Okay, so give me just a second and I'm going to get that done. Alright y'all, sorry about that. I had everything set out but my hand mixer. Okay, I've got this butter. It's kind of cool, so it's not at room temperature like I would like for it to be. So if you can get it like set out overnight or something like that so it can really get to room temperature, that would be best. But we're going to work with it and get this mixed in. This was a recipe that I had heard about for years when I was younger, and I'd never made them. I've seen them made. I've never tried them. Never seen anybody make them. So I thought, since this is close to Halloween time, I would give this a try. And also, if you have my cookbook, Sleepy Hollow Mary Making, this recipe is in that cookbook also. So that's neat. So give me just a second. I'm going to get this butter and sugar creamed up together, and I'll be right back. Alright y'all, I about got this creamed up to where I want it. You just want to get it sort of light and fluffy. That's all you really are looking for. Just get it creamed together real good. Okay, to that I've got 3 egg yolks that I have also let come up to room temperature. I'm going to add those in, and we're going to give that a mix. And that won't take but just a minute. Alrighty, see, that's how quick that was. And I'm sure back in the day when they made this, they didn't have electric mixers. So if you don't want to do, if you want to do this more traditional, you can do it all by hand. By all means, do so. Okay. Let me grab another bowl and we'll get our dry mix mixed together. All right, now our dry mixture is simply, we've got 3 cups of self-rising flour. Now, like I say, back in those days, they didn't have self-rising flour. They would have put the plain flour and salt, and back then they didn't have baking powder. They would have probably put pearl ash or potash in there to make it rise. But you can do, if you want to do it, you can put the baking powder and salt in there. Just Google it to see how much you would need for 3 cups. I'm going to use self-rising flour. Okay, in this bowl I have some spices. I have a teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. And we're just going to whisk these in to our flour. Now, if any of those spices you don't like, you can leave them out. I know if some of my family, if I was making this for them, I wouldn't put anything in here but cinnamon, because that would, the other spices they really wouldn't care for. Now, I like them, but if you don't like them, just put whatever spice you like in it. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to add the butter mixture and butter and sugar mixture and eggs into the flour mixture here. And this is, like I said, this is a totally different recipe from what I'm used to doing. The recipe said to add it this way. I would have usually added the flour to the cream mixture slowly, but we're going to go try our best to go by this recipe. Okay, and I'm going to take this and start it out on low, and we're going to get this incorporated. Y'all, I had my Harvest Festival at my house yesterday, and I had a lot of my family here. Some of them didn't get to make it, and I hate that. I missed every one of them. I would sure have loved to see them, but we had a good time. There was still quite a few here, and we had chili, and we had all kind of cakes and pies and stuff, and we had a great time. And I really enjoyed my family being here with me, and we really enjoyed it. But we're going to bring this together right here. And next, what we're going to add, I got 6.5 tablespoons of milk. It says to add it a little at a time until you get to a consistency of a dough that you can actually, a soft dough, but a dough that you can actually take out and pat out and roll out like a cookie dough or bread dough. You want it to be able to stick together. So we may use all of this, we may not. And who knows, I may have to run over there and grab some more to get it all together. We'll see. But I don't want to add all of it in at one time, because if that is too much, you don't want it to be too wet. And I think I'm going to use every bit of it. Alrighty, at this point, I think what I'm going to do is stop that for sure. I'm going to do the rest of it with my hand, by hand, because this is getting thick, and this is what you want. You want a consistency that you can, like I said, take out and roll it out, because we're going to roll it out on a floured surface and cut it out with a round biscuit cutter to make our cakes. And then what we do next is knead, and then we're going to bake them. So let's see, I'm going to add the rest of that little bit of milk, and guys, I'm getting in here with my hands on this, because this is what you want to do. All right, you can see that it makes a nice soft dough, but it holds together, and that's what you're looking for. So give me a minute. I'm going to get everything cleaned up here, and we're going to flour this surface and roll them out and cut them out, and then we'll see what we do next. All right, y'all, I got my countertop floured, and I'm going to put my dough right out here in the middle, and I'm just going to put some flour on the top and start pressing it out. And this is a soft dough, like I said, so it's not going to be too hard to cut out, roll out. What you want to do is you want this to be about 1/3 of an inch thick. You don't want it too thick, and you don't want it too thin. But about 1/3 of an inch would be fine. Okay. And I'm going to say that's about got us right there. Okay. Give me just a second. Alrighty. I've got me a sheet pan lined with a silicone mat, and I have my oven preheated to 375. What I'm going to do, just like when I'm making biscuits, I'm going to flour my cutter, and we're just, I want to see, make sure I'm where you can see me. I want to go in, and you may have to hold them down because this is a stickier dough, and pull straight out. Just like that. And you want to get these as close to the edge as possible and as close to each other. That way you're not wasting your dough and you're not having to have a lot of dough that you bring back to rework, because every time you rework them, it changes the texture of your cookie. So try to get as many out of this first rolling as you can. So that's why I go as close as possible and as close to the edge as possible. All right, I think I can get one more. And there we are. So now I'm going to take these. I know you can't see my pan, but I'll show you. I'm going to lay these on my pan, and I'm going to go about a ½ inch apart on these because it is self-rising flour, so they will probably rise some, and I don't want to risk risk them running together. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't want them to run together on me. Alrighty. And I got exactly 12 soul cakes out of that first cut. Now let me show you this. See, I got them just put apart right there like that. Okay, what I'll do is I will take this dough and I will bring it together, and I will work it one more time, roll it out, and cut out a few more and put those on another pan. So while I'm doing that, let's take a break and I'll be right back. All right, y'all, got all of these done. Now the next thing that they did with soul cakes is they would put a cross on these. So they either used, the research I've done, they either used raisins, currants, or dried cranberries. So what I don't have raisins or currants, but I do have some dried cranberries. So that's what I'm going to use. And if you see right here, I'm just going to start right up here at the top or the bottom, whichever way you're looking. And we are going to just simply make a cross on our soul cake. Just like that. Let me hold that up so you can see it. Stick. See that? That's all there is to it. And this is a little fun thing you could do with the kids and all, if you wanted to, for Halloween, Harvest Festival, whatever you do. This would be something fun and neat to do, something different, something educational. Teach them about our history. So I'm going to do a few more of these, and then I'm going to finish them up and come back, and we'll put these in the oven and bake them and see how they come out. I tasted the dough just a minute ago, and guys, it's not an overly sweet. It's not like a cookie. It's not really sweet at all. So this is going to be something interesting. You know, a lot of the sweet dishes they had back in the old days, they weren't, they didn't have a lot of sugar in them. A lot of times they didn't have sugar to put in them. They would put honey or syrup or something like that in them. So they weren't very sweet. You know, nowadays we are spoilt on sweet. We're hooked on sweet, so that's all we taste in them. So this is going to be something different. We'll get to taste all the flavors. So let me get these finished and I'll be right back. All right, y'all, I got these done. Don't those look neat? Now I'm going to be honest with you. If you're like me and you have no patience in decorating little stuff like this will be the time to get the kids in here and let them do this part. because this kind of stuff ain't for me. I want to put it on a pan, stick it in the oven, and go. But like I said, I got my oven preheated to 375. I'm going to stick these in, and it's saying that they bake 10 to 12 minutes, but I'll time them and make absolutely sure before I tell y'all the actual time. So I'll time these and see how long they cooked in my oven on 375. So let me come back, and these will be done, and we'll try them. All right, y'all. These cooked for a total of 15 minutes. See how good they look? Those look neat. So what I'm going to do is, they have been sitting on this pan for just a minute or two, and I'm going to just take them off and transfer them right over here to my cooling rack, and I'm going to let these cool completely before I try to bite one of them. They smell really good. They got that fall smells to them, you know, all that cinnamon and cloves and nutmeg and ginger in them. They smell really, really good, and they look real neat. This is a neat little something to do with history. You know, if you're into Halloween and you like stuff like this, this will be something neat for you and your kids to do, to teach them about something about some of the origins and everything of Halloween. But I hope you try these, and I'm going to try them in just a minute. I want to let them cool though. I have my other ones in the oven. This actually made with that 2-inch biscuit cutter that I cut these out with. This made 1.5 dozen cookies. So that's not bad. So we're going to let these cool completely, and I'll come back and we'll try them. Hold on. Alright, y'all, these have cooled, so I'm going to give them a try. See that? They look really good. First thing you get, they're very, very soft. They're not crispy like a cookie or nothing like that. They're very soft, like a little cake. They're not overly sweet. The cranberries add a lot of flavor to them, but you get a lot of that, the spice, the fall spice to them. These are actually very good. I would make these again. I would even go through the tedious process of putting all these little cranberries on them again just to get some more of these. That's how good they are. I wouldn't lie to you. These are very good. Try these. If you do, let me know how you like them. As always, I love y'all. I want y'all to be blessed. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. If you like the video, hit the like button. Leave a comment. Share on social media. We're getting up, I think we're up close, I think, to 120 subscribers now. Hey, it's better than it was when I first started. So y'all, please let me know how you like these. Make these. And like I always say, up in the link in the bio, there's links up there for Pinterest where you can go on there and click that link for whichever cookbook you want. Lunch at Uncle Jason's, a Sleepy Hollow merrymaking, or the Haywoods are home for the holidays. Click that link and hit visit. That'll take you straight to the ordering page. And for everybody that has ordered, I appreciate y'all so much. Like I said, the recipe for these soul cakes are in my cookbook, A Sleepy Hollow Merrymaking. So y'all have a great day. I love you. Be blessed. And enjoy these. Make some.